I'd see him sitting on that couch all day long, just staring at that Hollywood hogwash.
Our favorite show was Hollywood Hogwash.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Hollywood Hogwash. I'm Andrew Pisano, along with my brother Joe Pisano, Josh Reese, and Aaron Rosa. We are here for part 2 of Avengers Infinity War. That's originally what it was going to be, but Avengers Endgame. And just so that we don't push these buttons the whole podcast, I think we should just hit it now, right?
Get a couple out of the way.
I mean, for God's sake,
Let's just get them out of the way now.
This show doesn't need your button. That's
sure it does.
It doesn't?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Why not?
We have to hear Andrew coming in this show.
Well, that's why I think we should just hit it once, as well as, I mean, that's what this, if you had to describe this movie with just sounds, it'd be those 4 sounds.
Yeah.
It'd be, and pa, 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 pa.
There are so many busted nut moments in this film, like so many.
Right.
Where you just start screaming when you were in the theater when we went opening night. And
Oh my God.
it's so much fun watching all the fan pops when you go back on YouTube. Like I said last week, it's just like, it's so amazing. It just gives you the chills when you watch the fan reaction videos and stuff. So amazing.
No, the theater I went to was popping all night long in the beginning of the movie, some parts in the middle, and definitely in the end. I mean, it was just pops all night long.
It was just...
I know I've said this on the podcast before, but when we saw Endgame, I was sitting with Eric. I didn't get to sit with you because you brought a bunch of people, and the theater was packed. So I was sitting next to Eric, who was hyperventilating for the last 30 minutes, and that is not. I'm not joking. He was literally like tapping his chest, and I was like, "Oh my God! Like, am I gonna have to give this guy CPR?"
Was he coming?
I'm sure there was at least a little pre-cum.
There was. Oh my God! Yeah.
I mean, the final moments, like the final battle, like it was amazing. I mean, this is maybe the best experience being in a theater ever, just because of the pops. Everyone, I remember when anytime Thanos would get the gauntlet, like all the women in the theater would scream like they're watching a horror movie.
Yeah, right.
You know, you think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was coming after them, but
and just a lot of the pops were built up over the 9-10 years of all of these films,
right?
Like of Captain America, even at the end of was it Civil War, where like the new Avengers are kind of forming. Which movie was that? And he's like, Avengers! And then it cuts to, it's like they don't give it to us until the moment we need it.
That was Age of Ultron, right?
Was it Age of Ultron?
When he said that? When he was about to say it and they cut it off. And it was like, it was like one of those, there's a genre in porn. It was a ruined bust, right?
I thought it was Marvel.
They were about to let you come by him saying Avengers Assemble, but then it was Avengers, and then you're like, fuck, I was right there.
Tantric.
I think the word you're looking
tantric.
for is edging.
Edging.
No, but edging you still come at the end.
Oh Lord, we're getting very technical.
You do?
It's when they ruin it and then they just they let it go and they're like, and you're like, oh, this is so awful.
Yeah.
It's the worst bust ever. You guys got to do your fucking research, okay? If you want to be on a podcast, do your fucking research, guys.
Let Andrew handle that research for sure. Thanks for doing all the hard, heavy lifting.
I just like to know things, all right? I just do. I like knowledge. So I do my research on the internet. You guys should too.
That porn history, huh? Okay.
Everything, not just porn.
Right.
I know other things. I know about porn. So anyways, I'm curious to know what Aaron thought, because I know that you've only seen this movie once.
This was the second time?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what do you I know how you feel, like, I know why Aaron doesn't like Infinity War, doesn't really like this, but what did you think the second time?
You want to know my dirty little secret?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Sure. Tell us.
I love this movie.
You fucking son of a bitch!
What the fuck?
Hit the mark, but
you fucking mark! Oh my God! Like when he told me,
and I'm so mad at myself that I love this movie because I hate. Joe called me out last week. I hate sad endings.
Yes,
I
right.
hate deaths of beloved characters. It just ruins movies for me.
Yeah. Right.
And the first time I saw it, I couldn't appreciate the movie for what it was because I was like, "Fuck you!
Yeah.
You killed Tony Stark.
Right.
Fuck you!"
Exactly.
But watching it this time, knowing it's coming, god damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just can't have him around forever. And the fact that, again, this whole entire time for over a decade or about a decade, they were kind of telling you that he's not the guy to make the sacrifice play. And then
Right.
ultimately he's the one who sacrifices himself so that everyone else could live.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
No, when Doctor Strange holds up that one, you're
Yeah.
like, oh
like,
God,
oh, sorry.
no, I know what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had a feeling you were going to feel this way because I watched you watch this movie, as I do because I'm a weirdo. But like, that's what I do when I watch movies with people that haven't seen the movie, or like if they only saw it once, like Aaron, like I just watch them watch the movie.
And that's how you knew things were coming, right? Because Andrew's like,
yeah. Right up in your face. And yeah, I saw you enjoy the movie and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was marking out. I was just, it just makes me so angry because it could have been perfect if they just let Tony Stark retire.
But it's not
Like-
as dramatic.
Right.
It's not
I know,
as, and that's what
I know,
movies
but
are.
if they could just let him retire instead of
get it.
killing him, it would have been perfect.
Aaron, I hate watching the death scene. I even made a comment when we were watching it just now. I usually fast forward this part because
Yeah.
I didn't feel like crying today
Right.
when I rewatched this movie. But it makes it perfect. It makes the ending to the story. It's okay to end a story. We don't need Tony Stark popping in on random Spider-Man movies because he's still alive to save the day. We needed him to die.
It's a much more powerful scene.
Yes.
That he sacrifices his life.
We have two major deaths in this movie after so many years of no one ever really dying,
But
no
it-
one important.
But it's so mean. He's our favorite character. He leaves his little 5-year-old daughter without a father. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
He's a
It didn't
billionaire.
have to
She'll
be
be
mean.
okay.
It didn't have
She
to
has
be
happy.
mean that way.
I know, I get it. I think I said it last week that if they killed Batman off in The Dark Knight Rises, I would have never have forgiven Christopher Nolan for that. But like, he's the only guy, he's the only hero, you know, like it's just Batman in that
Right.
movie.
Right.
Right.
You don't have 20 other heroes, and so I think that's what made it different. But we're gonna get into everything Endgame. But first, we have to thank a new patron.
Oh.
So thank you to Eric Avila.
Nice.
I think that's how you pronounce his name. First time signing up on the Hollywood Hogwash Patreon. So thank you, Eric. You can go to patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. We're almost done with Ahsoka. Only a couple episodes left. And then we're moving on to Loki for another 6 weeks. And Loki season 2 looks great.
Wow.
You know, it might be the only good thing Marvel has now.
Yeah.
And then after that ends, right after Loki ends, season 2 of Invincible comes back.
Finally.
So it's all set up perfectly.
It's all coming together.
Yes.
Great.
So we're set for the rest of the year on shows to watch
Yep.
for the Hollywood Hogwash Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. Now let's get to the news and rumors, a.k.a. the Hollywood Hogwash. So last week, Sony posted and then quickly deleted a video on TikTok featuring Tom Hardy and Topher Grace fighting each other in a mashup of clips from their movies as Venom, sparking speculation of a potential crossover in Venom 3.
Right.
Now that every single movie is doing some sort of multiverse thing,
Right.
they're teasing that Topher Grace is going to be in Venom 3. And I could see it happening because these Venom movies are more like trying to be like Deadpool than anything else.
Correct.
They fail miserably at
Not
it.
good. Not good.
But they try to be funny.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see Topher Grace showing up in Venom and then like Tom Hardy's Venom just eats him in 2 seconds.
right.
You know, it's like, here I am. Oh, hey. And then he's just dead. It's just a quick little joke.
We need to stop with the multiverse stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
It's enough at this point.
Well, we need to stop with the Venom movies.
Well, you know, we definitely need to stop, but it's might be the only thing that gets people interested in it. Like, oh, Topher Grace, they'll probably
No.
trick people.
What?
Why? Who
Like
the fuck
he's-
wants Topher Grace? Who thought Topher Grace was a good Eddie Brock or Venom?
I'm just saying, it might get people like, oh, we're kind of mingling the universe. Maybe we'll see some other people. You
Well,
know?
they've already teased that
Never
with Venom, though.
know.
Venom like looked at Spider-Man, was like, oh, he looks delicious.
That'd be the only way it would work is if he just eats him in 2 seconds.
Right.
Imagine if they're like, hey, Jar Jar's going to be the next Star Wars. Are you going to cut his fucking head off?
Right.
Then sure, I'm down
Nice.
for it. As long as you immediately cut his head off and cut his dick off if he has one.
Or make him a Sith. Whatever. Annie!
Yeah. You'll cut off my dick. That's just what I want.
I want to see a scene where Darth Vader sees Jar Jar, and then Jar Jar's like, no. And then I can't even do it without
Darth Vader does the Force choke.
No, then Darth Vader just is like, he's like the only one who's ever really like his only real friend. And he's just like, go away.
Or he becomes his apprentice, and then we have Darth Jar Jar.
Well, that's,
Sith?
yeah.
A Sith
That is
Jar
a,
Jar?
that is a thing online.
That's a thing
Okay.
online.
Or
yeah.
it's Jar Jar like in the Sith robes and everything, and like he was a spy all along. It could happen. Wow, we're going all over the place today. Also, there are rumors that Sam Raimi is Marvel's top choice to direct Avengers: Secret Wars.
Okay.
For
Sure.
whenever that
Okay.
comes out with the strikes, I think we're expecting that to come out at the end of the century. But
Yes.
yeah, it should be. I mean, that's a good name for sure.
He did a good job with the Doctor Strange movie, so I'm kind of happy.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not?
Also, the original Daredevil showrunner has called out Disney for rebooting the series instead of green-lighting season 4. Stephen McKnight said it's an old Disney scam where they slightly rename a series to reset contract terms back to the first season. It needs to be addressed by the guilds, unions, and crushed. It's funny because like 2 weeks ago, I saw, like just scrolling on YouTube, I saw a former child actor that worked for Disney on one of those shows. I don't know the names of those shows, but he talked about how they would like change the name of the show and reboot the show every like 2 years because I think it's by season 3 is when they get like per the
serious?
union contract, they get this huge raise. So
Wow.
they would always just, it would be like, oh, Eddie or like Carly, but then they would change it to iCarly and then whatever.
Carly
or,
2.0, whatever.
Yeah, they would just change
Bullshit
the
like
name
that.
just to get off
That is
paying
horrible.
everyone.
That is horrible.
So just so I'm clear, this is going to be a total reboot. This is, even though it's going to be Charlie Cox back, it's
Yeah.
not going to be the same
No,
character we know.
I think it is. I think the point is that they're not going to really refer to much of the stuff in the past, but it's still the same kind of timeline.
Yeah, I thought it was like
Kind
a
of.
soft
You know what I mean?
reboot.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a soft reboot. It's gonna be not as dark.
right,
you
because
know.
we're gonna have Hawaiian
Hawaiian shirt kingpin,
Hawaiian shirt.
right.
and also they're I think they're recasting Elektra. Like they're recasting some of the other people.
Right.
So yeah, I mean we'll see. I mean he's currently dating She-Hulk. So that's the state where Daredevil's at right now.
Dating or just a booty
unfortunately.
call? I'm not.
It doesn't matter. Either way, it's
She-Hulk
bad.
did introduce him to his parents, her parents. So I guess maybe they are.
And now he's like, the uncle to Hulk's children. So that's,
Oh God, this is getting way intertwined.
God, so
I hate all of this.
She-Hulk and Secret Invasion ruined everything.
so Bernthal's not getting a soft reboot too, is he?
I don't know. No. So far, they just said that he's going to be in Daredevil, but he's not going to be as ruthless. It's not like they're going to have this fucking gore fest like they did with
It's
the
gonna be
Punisher show.
far
Oh, those
less
prison
blood.
fights and stuff
Yeah.
are amazing.
Oh, the
my
prison
God.
fights were great.
Yeah, I've been worried about this since the beginning, but we'll see.
Well, since we're on Daredevil news, it's slightly tangible to that. Echo has reportedly lost an episode. It hasn't even
It
started.
needs to lose all the episodes.
Comicbook.com has shared that sources close to Echo have confirmed that the MCU series will consist of 5 episodes that
Oh,
are
boy.
approximately 1 hour long. There were originally 6 episodes, but one of them was cut for pacing issues.
When we were reviewing Secret Invasion, we're like, okay, the first episode was 50 minutes, the second episode was 50 minutes, then the rest were 30 minutes. It's like you only made enough for 4 episodes, and then you cut them in half to
Right.
fill the 6.
Right.
That's why the episodes would end at random parts.
Yep.
You're like, wait, the episode's over? What?
Right. So who knows if this is actually a good thing or not? Maybe they were like, well, we have 2 30-minute episodes. We'll just smack them together and make it 5 episodes.
There were rumors months ago that Echo is like She-Hulk level bad. Or like Secret
But, like,
Invasion level bad.
Who's like excited for an Echo series?
Yeah, right.
I don't even know who that character
She was so boring
before.
in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't even that interesting.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Bleh.
That'll probably skip that one.
And like if everything they
We
did,
might even skip Daredevil. But I'm saying the sad part.
2 weeks into Daredevil, we're like, we're done.
All
She-Hulk
these-
is the star.
2 weeks into Daredevil, we're going back to Daredevil 1.
Oh my, yes, for sure. We'll just do the first 3 seasons.
that's not bad. I was gonna say, like, if all these shows were great, I'd be like, hey, I can't wait for Echo.
I know.
All these shows are great.
Yeah.
Kind of like they were doing with the Daredevil and the Punisher. And
Right.
I never actually saw the when they group up.
The Defenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last good like MCU show on Disney Plus has to be Hawkeye, right? Hawkeye was like
Yeah.
the last one that was any good.
Right.
Or,
Yeah, that's what I would
was
say.
because it was after Loki.
It was after Loki.
Pretty
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's either Hawkeye or Loki.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Also, we're talking about Invincible earlier. Creator Robert Kirkman told Polygon that 7 to 8 seasons could be enough to adapt the entire comic.
Jesus.
So it might be around
please.
for a while.
Yes,
Wow.
please.
Wow.
I would not have any problem with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
As long as it's still good.
Right.
So graphic.
And then viewers reportedly left Aquaman 2 screen tests in disgust because of a specific event that happens in the film.
Yeah. Did you hear about it?
Yes.
Yeah. He blows an octopus, but like
It's so weird.
It's weird because he gets sad that him and Hera, what's her name?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you're,
they break up and he goes
And
down.
then-
on
you're
an
thinking
octopus.
of the
Well,
boys.
he
You're
has to
thinking
go
of
down-
the boys.
No,
That's
no,
the wrong show.
Also, they break up, but then she takes a shit on his waterbed. It's
Right.
really, it's really
it's
fucked
too
up.
real.
It's too real.
It's
Amanda
too-
Heard.
No, do you really know what it is?
Yes.
Good.
Does no one care?
Oh, hey.
I mean,
Oh,
I don't
we're not
wanna-
going to
are we
watch
gonna
this.
see
But
this
we might have
movie.
some fans that.
Fast forward 3 minutes because I'm sure we're going
All
to
right,
make fun
fast
of it.
forward like 30 seconds
30
from
seconds.
right now.
Go. I'll keep it count.
They have a baby, and then the villain kills their newborn baby.
Jesus.
So it's like something that's so fucked up. They're like, what the fuck?
Jesus.
It's like not even like
Christ.
it's so bad. It's just like, why would you do that?
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Wait.
I'm already watching it.
Don't say it anymore because now we're
Yeah.
already past the.
It's been-
don't say it
it's
anymore.
been 20
Like,
seconds.
You can say it without saying it if you're, if you know how to do it without spoiler alerting everything. He doesn't know how to do it. He can't do it. He can't fucking do it.
Josh, you
Let's
had
just
10
take it away
seconds to
from
talk.
Josh here.
Yeah. Anyway.
Fast forward
that
30
sounds-
seconds from now.
No, just stop.
That sounds horrible.
But if everyone hated it, then maybe they're going to take it out. I mean, this movie.
That's what screen tests are for. A screen test is
Exactly,
to
yeah.
fix shit.
And this movie has had so many reshoots. Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck were supposed to be in it. They were
Yes.
taken out of the movie.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, good, okay. Because the only reason why you would even watch the Flash movie again is just to watch like the 30 minutes that Michael Keaton's in it.
Yes.
And did they reshoot all of what's her face's scenes, or is she still in it?
I heard that Amber Heard's like barely in it. Like they took out most
They
of
just
her
took
shit.
her out as opposed to reshooting all the female scenes with other actors.
Yeah, no, they did not do that as far as I
Yeah.
know. They just edited her out of the movie almost completely.
You don't
Again-
see her in the trailer very much,
No.
or at all.
This is a challenge to James Gunn. Why do I need to care about this movie when he has told me specifically that nothing matters until the reboot happens?
Until Superman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So
literally
none of
just a
this matters.
standalone.
Yeah.
It's like literally just a standalone sequel.
Yes.
Why don't you just recast Amber Heard so you can actually do something with Hera?
Yeah.
Like if you've got to just edit her out of the movie,
I know.
just recast her so you can use her.
It was a weird thing because the trial was going on while they were filming, and
They were like, fingers crossed, she's gonna.
she
We
what?
hope she wins.
She what on a bed?
Yeah.
What? Oh,
She bit what off?
that's right.
Wait, this bitch is crazy.
The film is also only 1 hour and 55 minutes long, making it one of the shortest DCEU films ever. It might be even shorter by the time it comes out.
The director's cut?
A tight
1
hour.
hour.
1 hour. No, like the director's cut, and then you have Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck,
Oh my God.
Amber Heard in half the movie. Like they just have everyone in it.
They're like, oh, that's why that happened. Oh, that's what makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Apparently, the movie's very confusing to watch. Like,
Whoa, go figure, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it's rough. That's all I
fuck
have,
DC.
dude. Does anyone else have anything?
I did see that apparently the strike might be coming to an end soon.
The writer's strike.
The writer's strike.
Not the actors necessarily, but even then, this was like days ago, and there's no update now, so it might be at a standstill again.
You know, keep with a grain of salt, but according to the Hollywood Reporter, the studios have presented their best and final offer to the union.
Yeah, it's a middle finger.
Right, a meeting apparently yesterday and today. And I didn't realize, but 148 days today that they've been on strike.
It's almost the longest strike ever, right? They're close.
Yeah, I guess so.
I looked it up, and like it's close to being the longest strike ever.
That's crazy.
So whatever.
Yeah,
we'll see Daredevil in 2025, I guess. Jeez, Daredevil and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I had one thing. It's not news, but it's just a fun little thing.
Okay.
I saw someone posted 4 comedies, and you have to pick one. And I'm curious what you guys think.
Just pick one to watch.
Just pick one.
I might be the only
like
person
your
who's seen
favorite.
all these.
Yeah, you can only choose one. Weekend at Bernie's.
All right. The first one.
The first one.
Joe just looked at me like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
No. The funny thing
I
is,
get it.
I love Weekend at Bernie's, but me and my friend say that Weekend at Bernie's 2 might just be the worst movie ever
Well,
made.
it's the biggest jump the shark movie ever.
God.
It's like, here is this corpse again.
Like, yeah, it's a standalone movie, right? It's a funny idea.
And in the sequel, he actually does move.
Yeah.
Like he dances to a.
It's a funny idea. Let's keep him alive for the weekend because we want to party and fuck girls. And it's a funny, dark comedy type of idea. In the second movie, he gets possessed and he's literally moving around and dancing.
that defeats the entire purpose.
Does
of
he
the
really?
movie.
I haven't seen
Yes.
the second one.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's literally moving around because
Really?
he's possessed.
He's dancing
Oh my
towards like a
God.
buried treasure, right?
something like that.
It's something like that. Yeah.
Holy shit. That's amazing.
And then like we have to follow his dead body.
And I think he only moves when music plays.
A certain song plays, and then he dances to like a treasure.
This is amazing. I knew none of this.
Oh, it's,
Holy
we'd almost
shit.
have to review it.
I think
how bad
next
it is.
week. Yeah, no.
We almost
week?
should. It's that bad.
Okay, so Weekend at Bernie's.
Okay.
Airplane.
Okay. Yeah. Love Airplane.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
So
Okay,
underrated.
another great movie.
So underrated.
And Porky's.
Porky's is the only one I haven't seen.
Porky's is just here's tits and ass.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. You know what I mean?
I'm leaning Airplane. That's the only one I could watch.
Airplane would be my choice.
Out of all those to watch,
Yeah.
mine might be Weekend at Bernie's.
I love Airplane. Airplane is a joke every 10 seconds.
Oh, it's so crazy.
so funny.
You can't even do 90% of those jumps now.
Airplane's definitely the funniest, but I think I would take Planes, Trains just because John Candy and Steve Martin are so good together.
Yeah.
That movie's great. Porky's is for sure fourth
The
place.
last.
in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Planes, Trains is great.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get to Avengers Endgame. Get out your tissues for your tears and
Tears.
your pee-pee tears.
And your dreams. Your pee-pee tears. Jesus.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we start off with Hawkeye teaching his daughter how to be a Hawkeye, but she's not Kate Bishop.
No.
She's not Kate Bishop.
So he's teaching Joe Russo's daughter, first of all,
Okay.
the director. And secondly, this was supposed to be part of Infinity War.
Right.
And the end of Infinity
yeah.
War is like just another scene to rip your heart out.
Right.
Right before you leave the theater.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in
this
the
is-
movie at all. So they're like,
No.
oh, let's put him in. Yeah.
Well, this is perfect as
It's
a
a perfect-
cold open and to remind you what has happened.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean-
nothing. And then boom, this
Yeah.
scene. It's
This
so great.
takes your heart away in 5 minutes in the movie.
yeah.
Even his dogs get blipped away.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
He
Oh,
said, well, yeah, because
Fuck.
he sees his daughter. He's like, what the fuck? And then he calls for his boys, his wife. And then he's even like, I guess they're gone. Where are the dogs? He's like, boys, hello. And then he's like, oh, fuck, they're
I
gone
thought he was
too.
whistling for his kids.
I mean, imagine that
Fuck,
if the
that's
dog
sad.
survived, he wouldn't have gone insane. If he just had some
Because he
dogs.
lost everything.
Lost everything.
Even his goldfish Polly.
But you even see a little bit of
Wow.
the flakes too, like when
Yes.
they come to turns and you're
Right.
like, you're like this. You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
He
soon as you see
doesn't
it,
know yet.
as soon as that scene opens, you're like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen.
oh no.
Also, who puts mayonnaise on their hot dogs? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Oh come on, it's everyone.
Oh, a
It's
nitpick.
a child.
It's a nitpick.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's a nitpick.
It's a nitpick. It's not a mistake, you
It's a mis-
dummy.
it's a mistake.
It's not a
It's
mistake.
a mistake. I'm correcting children everywhere they go. It's either ketchup or mustard.
What do you put on a hot dog?
Chili.
Fuck you. All right, so then we got Tony Stark and Nebula You always have chili when you have a hot dog? Is there always chili around?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I bring a personal can with me everywhere I go.
Has the movie come on yet at this point? Have we seen the banner?
No.
Right before? Not yet?
No.
Then okay.
No, just like the Marvel,
Yeah.
the Marvel logo.
Oh, okay,
But
so-
that's not till later.
The Marvel logo or what?
No, the Marvel logo's now, but the title screen is not till
Oh,
later.
right. Well, because when you see the Marvel logo of all the heroes,
Yeah.
all the ones that were erased aren't in there.
Okay, yeah, that's that you see that here, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So then we get to Tony Stark and Nebula playing paper football on their ship that's running out of fuel and oxygen. So even if they beat Thanos, they were all dead.
Yeah, they never thought about that. How do we get out of here?
I mean, Tony does say in Infinity War, like, this is a one-way ticket, but yeah.
he does. Right?
So Tony records a goodbye video for Pepper, and then he lays down to die, but they're saved by Captain Marvel.
Yeah. And I guess it's kind of assumed that Captain Marvel went to Earth first.
She did. If it was in one of the post-credit scenes
That's
in
right.
Captain Marvel.
That's right. That's
where
right.
she shows up.
Yeah.
You don't see everything that happens in that scene, but you just see that she shows up at Avengers headquarters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because that was the beeper. He beeped her, and then she showed up. So Marvel brings them to Avengers headquarters, where everyone who's left is waiting for them, including Pepper. Tony freaks out. He blames Rogers for not being there for him, and then he passes out.
And him looking really, really thin was all CGI.
Yeah.
Crazy. It looks
Really?
so real. Yeah.
Well, because that would have
Isn't
been
that
like
crazy?
Christian Bale level of.
I
commitment
guess that's
to-
right.
And they
yeah.
said he was gone for 23 days. And I'm like, would you really look that thin after 23 days? But when I had COVID for 2 weeks, I lost like 20 pounds. So imagine another week.
Well, yeah, I mean, and he was like pretty much eating nothing.
Right.
Like, they
Yeah.
had those like
Right.
little nuts, but that's it.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess Nebula probably would have survived, right? Because
No.
she's part
she's
robots.
half robot, but
Yeah, but-
I don't know.
It was
Maybe?
running out of. I think she doesn't. She still breathe oxygen.
I don't know.
Pretty sure. She dies when you shoot her.
Yeah, but she put Tony in his chair. Like, all right, well, he's about to die.
Yeah, I think she has more strength than him. Sure,
Maybe.
but
Like, showed him maybe lasted
Just a
another week,
random thought.
Yeah,
a couple
Okay.
of days. Yeah.
who knows? The team finds what planet Thanos has retired to and decides to go there to get the stones from him and use them and bring everyone back. And they don't really trust Marvel since they just met her. But Thor stands in front of her and calls for his axe, just like in the trailer. And she doesn't flinch. And then he says, I like this one.
Yeah.
And then Steve Rogers, who I really never liked until Infinity War. Like I always,
Why?
He was a goody two shoes.
It's with this character.
Yeah, I know. I don't like
It's a
goody
great
two-shoes.
cast.
Well, anyways, he finally grows a pair, and he says, "Let's go get this son of a bitch." And then that's where you get the
Whoa.
title screen. And yeah, I love him in this movie because he's finally
Well, Infinity
cursing.
War, he was amazing. He grew the beard.
I said Infinity War.
Oh, yeah.
But this one is where he kind
He
of
grew
got.
the beard. He got hotter.
Yeah, he was
He
fun.
did. He got a
hotter.
little bit more relatable for sure.
I am
Yeah.
Steve Rogers. Yeah.
So also when they do the space jump, there's a close up of Roger's eyes getting really big, and it's the same shot they did with Tony Stark in the first Avengers film. There it is, right there. You can see it. That's Tony when he goes to space, and that's
Yeah.
Steve. It's the same exact shot.
Yeah.
So that
The
was
Russo
cool.
brothers said this is one of their famous, they're one of their favorite shots. Just watching Captain America actually see space
Yeah, he's
travel
like,
for the first
"Holy-"
time.
He's just a boy from Brooklyn.
That's it.
Yeah. Then we cut to Thanos, and he's very weak. He's a shell of himself from using the Infinity Stones,
Yeah, just making coffee or Zarg nuts.
making
or
some stew or whatever it is.
type of weird
weird
stew.
plant that he
Yeah.
grabbed.
Those were giant eggplants, I
Right.
think. Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
And the Avengers attack him, and Thor immediately cuts his arm off.
Perfect.
Which, looking back, it's like, that's all you had to do, man.
Was it that easy?
Yeah.
Couldn't Doctor Strange have
Yeah,
slid
exactly.
off his thing
Right.
like they do earlier in Infinity War?
Yeah.
To whatever that
One of the
creature was?
monsters, yeah. So Rocket flips Thanos' hand, but the stones are not on the gauntlet.
Damn.
And Thanos admits that he used the stones to destroy the stones. It nearly killed him, but the work is done. It always will be. I am inevitable.
He's a man of my word.
Okay. So Thor cuts Thanos' head off, and I'm like, this is a Disney movie.
Yeah, but it had to be done.
It had to be done.
Yeah.
And Rocket says, "What did you do?" And Thor says,
What did you do?
I went for the head."
Yeah.
Thor walks off, fade out. 5 years later.
That when in the movie theater, that was one of the biggest gasps.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah, I heard you.
This is horseshit.
Joe was like 10 rows down, and I heard Joe go, "What?"
I probably did. Oh, come on.
Fuck! And then
God damn it,
three
Marvel.
ushers started rushing to Joe.
Well,
I get off me! Get off me!
Yeah, at first I didn't like. I thought they were gonna. I thought they were gonna be able to undo everything,
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted.
Right.
And then I think you were like, no, but then there's no stakes to the first movie.
There's
like,
no consequences.
There has
yeah.
to.
Right.
They lost.
Of course, we want that. You know, like as
no,
fans.
but then I appreciated it more. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, like that, and that makes it better.
Right.
And
It
they
really
had
does
to
make it better.
fight
Sorry,
so
Aaron,
hard.
but that
They had
makes
to
it
fight
better.
so hard to bring everybody back. It made it a lot more impactful.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, 5 years later, and City Field is empty.
I know.
They show City Field.
I know.
They're like, "Yep,
It's
fuck you."
crazy that it's always full as much as they lose.
Right. And we have Steve Rogers running a group therapy session, which I just realized that was another Joker quote. "I know why you have your little group therapy sessions." And one of the Russo brothers.
Yep.
Which one?
The guy talking about the date he went on with.
No,
the
I mean, yeah. Do you know which one?
I believe
It's Joe, right?
I was gonna say Joe, but I don't really. know.
Anthony. Whatever. One of the Russo brothers was
My
the
name
guy
is Joseph Anthony. That's
talking.
what makes it confusing.
That's right, yeah. He was talking about the recent date he went on and how much he misses the Mets.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he should feel like thankful at this point.
People miss the
About-
Mets? Wow.
Yeah, like
wait.
I don't have to worry about watching the Mets lose anymore.
Knowing
Should be-
knowing the Mets, like none of them would have been erased. Like they're stuck with that team.
Oh,
Everyone else,
shit.
yeah.
Everyone else has replacements, and we still can't win.
We still can't
It
win.
should be missing the Jets, though, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Shut up, Josh. I'm gonna
The
beat you.
bald guy in this group therapy session is the creator of Thanos.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
I just read that.
That's cool.
As we were, yeah.
So when you're watching Hawkeye and you see people writing like Thanos was right, that was
Yeah.
all Mets and Jets fans.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yes.
Put us out of our fucking misery.
Also, this group is hosted by Captain America. You think it'd be a little bit more popular? There's like 5 people there.
Knowing, yeah.
But don't you think 5 years later they would have figured out like how to put together their sports teams again? I guess half
That's what I was talking with Andrew about when
half
the
the
movie was
world's a lot.
happening.
Half the world's a
I
lot.
was
know.
like, because
Okay.
there's trash everywhere.
All right, but think about 9/11. How long did it take them to clean that shit up? It was there
That's
for years.
True.
So what do you have to clean up from?
Well, I'm just saying, like, later when they show the whole, like, everywhere, like, everything is just a mess.
yeah.
The whole world is a mess. There's
Right.
trash everywhere. No one's. I think they're just trying to say everyone's
Abandoned cars.
Everyone's depressed. It's like literally the worst thing to happen ever.
I'll give you that. And like you mentioned, now there's half as many people to do the
Yeah.
jobs that were before.
Right.
Yeah, it would be weird for. You know what? To be honest, I want to see how society went on.
It's hard to imagine what that would be like.
Very true. Very
if
true.
tomorrow half the people just disappeared. But Rogers tells them they got to keep making baby steps to find purpose. Otherwise, Thanos should have killed all of us. And he tells them how he met the love of his life before getting frozen, but he had to move on. And this is so great because the movie goes out of its way to remind you about Peggy multiple times to set up the ending.
Yeah.
You know, they do such a good job so that even if you didn't watch all the other movies or you forgot,
But you did.
I missed some of them.
Yeah, you missed Thor 2.
And Ant-Man.
Yeah, Ant-Man was good.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't everybody miss Thor?
But you ended
2?
up seeing it, right?
I
Or you
did,
saw it?
yes, yeah. I saw it
Ant-Man was
recently.
it's Paul
Yeah,
Rudd.
yeah, it
So
was good. Yeah. So in San Francisco, a rat walks over buttons on Ant-Man's van.
Right.
And Ant-Man pops out of the quantum realm.
And then there he is.
Yeah. And then, like, maybe the shortest cameo in the history of cameos.
Yeah. Well, think about the people that just wanted to be in
Yeah.
this, like Matthew Berry,
Right.
the fantasy football guy.
Right, but I mean, he's
Right.
not even an actor. It's like
I know, but he said, "I have one wish,
Yeah.
and this is what it is."
Right.
So yeah, Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong.
But it's
great.
crazy.
Just-
He's a
he has-
good actor.
And everyone
A
laughed.
3-second shot. Everyone laughed because we're like, oh, Wong from Hangover, like, you know.
Right.
But he just has one shot where he just looks in the security camera and he's a little surprised, and that's it.
The fucking,
Well, then he watches
suspicious
Paul Lee.
mustache.
But he's blurred. That could have been a stand-in. Like he's blurred.
Right.
I guess.
But like, yeah, it's just like he's barely in it. So
Everybody just wanted a piece of
like he just got a union check for that.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
$5,000 or something.
Not
Here's
even.
your 2-second thing, right? So yeah, Scott finds a memorial with his name on it. He goes home to find his daughter, who he doesn't recognize at first because she's aged 5 years. Then he wouldn't recognize her in Ant-Man 3 because it's a different actress.
Oh yeah, she aged a lot older too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calm down, Josh.
Then we see Black Widow. She has a Zoom meeting with Rocket, Nebula, Marvel, Rhodey, and Okoye. And Rhodey tells Natasha that Hawkeye... Okoye.
No, you said Rhodey?
Rhodey.
Scroll.
Scroll Rhodey. I guess we have to come to terms with it.
I'm
know.
not doing it. I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not either.
No.
It
no
makes
one
no
said
sense watching this
What?
movie.
Some director said that maybe.
The Secret Invasion director said
yeah.
that.
Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes
Fuck
zero
off.
sense later.
It makes zero sense later when he can't walk.
Right.
Stand up, Scroll.
Yeah.
The fate of the universe is at stake, and you're gonna keep kayfabe alive? What are you doing?
It was so weird.
What? In case this works out, you're like, hey, I saw you walk in.
You fucking character actor.
Aren't your legs broken? It was so weird. See him doing the army crawl. Like, wait, if it's a scroll, shouldn't the legs be?
Dude, with
right?
everything they're seeing, spaceships and time travel, you think like someone's back healing is gonna be like a shock?
Exactly.
Oh, you healed? Would someone beep you with one of their buttons?
Yeah, they did.
Did
yeah.
Nebula just go up your asshole with her fingers and
That's what happened.
heal the spine? Sure.
Yep.
Not only
No
that,
one's
so
gonna care.
okay, the world has changed. There's aliens now. Shouldn't the scroll be like, okay, guys, I'm a scroll?
Right. Right. I've been an alien all along.
So fucking stupid. So, Rhodey, you fucking assholes.
Fuck you, Marvel.
Exactly. Rhodey tells Natasha that Hawkeye has been brutally murdering a bunch of criminals. He's basically the Punisher now,
Yes.
you know.
Love it.
But she asks
This
him.
is probably what would happen to me if all
Sure.
of my family was
Right.
murdered.
She asks him to find out where he's going next. Then Roger shows up and tells Natasha, he's like, I saw a pod of whales in the Hudson. There's fewer ships, And she's like, all right, asshole.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, force of habit. And he tells her, I keep telling everybody to move on and grow. Some do, but not us.
Yeah.
And Natasha gives this whole story about how she, didn't really ever have a family. Except in the next movie, we find out that she had she kind of had a family.
Yeah,
Yes.
she had a sister.
Had a sister.
Yeah.
And a
kind of.
dad.
All
I guess,
adopted.
and a mom.
All-
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
fair.
But she was
All
close.
She was
very close with Elena.
That's right.
But she's like, this is the only thing I have left.
Kate the Bishop.
This is
That was
important to
before-
me.
Maybe Kate Bishop lived? I don't know. That's a different question for a different story.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But this also sets up what, the choice that Natasha makes later in the movie.
Right.
Then Scott rings their doorbell and tells them about the quantum realm and suggests that they use it as a time machine.
And that's a great little scene because he's like, is this an old clip? And she's like, that's the front door.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
So cool.
And Scott tells them, she's like, oh man, I'm sorry. That must have been a hard 5 years in the quantum realm. He's like, no, it was just 5 hours for me. So he skipped 5 years on Earth in 5 hours in the quantum realm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which then when you go and watch Ant-Man 3 and he's acting like he's never been there before, you're like, you were there. You were
Right.
there for 5 hours.
Well, I don't think Ant-Man 3 is canon. I think that's the problem.
It shouldn't be.
It is.
So they visit Tony, who now has a young daughter with Pepper. He tells them he wants nothing to do with their time heist, which is a great name for this. And then Scott says, it'll work as long as we don't talk to our past selves. We don't bet on sporting events. And Tony's like, I'm going to stop you right there. Like, are you telling me your whole basis for this is based on Back to the Future? Scott's like, no. He's like, good, because that'd be horseshit. It's just like,
It was a great movie, though. Great movie.
oh my God, of course. I mean, that's what this movie is. It's
Yeah.
Avengers meets Back to the Future.
For sure.
That's what this movie is. I was
Yes.
like, oh my God, like they combined my two favorite things.
Yeah. Like
So
Back to the Future 2, specifically.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
So the team meets with Bruce Banner, but he is now smart / dumb Hulk. And he tells them It's confusing because he's like smart and dumb at the same time.
I just want to make a clarification. He didn't do very many dumb Hulk things in this movie. He
Except
wasn't
for this scene.
But
this scene, he was just more goofy Hulk than anything.
yeah, but when you need like a Hulk to whoop some ass, I don't know if this Hulk would.
No, he didn't.
He's like
He doesn't.
He doesn't whoop anyone's ass.
In fact, there was a deleted scene where you saw what Hulk was doing the past 5 years, and he was a firefighter.
Shut the fuck
What?
up.
Yeah.
What?
There's
Okay.
like a half animated like scene that's on the DVD
Holy
where like it
shit.
shows Hulk jumping into a building and just saving people. And like, this guy's great.
But this,
Goddamn.
I wonder why they
Hulk.
didn't show that.
I'm a big Hulk fan, right? Of
course.
I've always loved the Hulk. He was my Spider-Man, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't show the transition on camera, like really, really, really bothers me. Again,
Right.
there's a deleted scene at the end of Infinity War where he just kind of comes out of the lake or
Hulkbuster,
something,
yeah.
or that, right? We talked
Yeah,
about that last
right.
week. But they were like, well, that would be confusing because then there was something good that kind of happened
Right.
when everyone got blipped. So they had to kill it, and then they couldn't even do it in Infinity War or in Endgame,
Yeah.
because of the 5-year thing. But I want to know more about this.
I know.
I want to like explore this at some point, or in a Hulk movie or something. Show us
Yeah.
how that happened.
Right, because Mark Ruffalo, he's so stupid. He's got dumb face, and he's like, I figured out a way to. It's like, did you figure it out? And then I was just expecting to be like, no, Shuri did it.
Right.
Black Panther's sister.
Right, that's right.
No, she did it. Not me. I can't do it.
I'm a genius, but she's like a double genius.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really disappointing they had to do that because Mark Ruffalo's Hulk in the first Avengers movie and really the second one also, it was great.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
I don't know why they had to turn him into a dummy, like
Right.
comic relief character.
He takes a photo with some young fans. He dabs. And then Scott asks the kids if they want a photo with him, but they don't know who Ant-Man is, and he gets offended by that. It's a funny little scene.
These kids are like 7, and
Yeah.
5 years had passed since he'd been around.
Right.
Exactly.
He's been
Nobody knows who you
stuck
are.
in a hole for
They only
5
know
years.
Hulk for being a firefighter.
Right.
Hey, are you the awesome firefighter?
Not only that, Captain America was in the booth too, and they're like, man, fuck Captain
Yeah,
America.
that's Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
like,
God.
all right. But he's just a group therapy guy now. He's just
Yeah.
a counselor.
That's true. We don't want to picture with Dr. Phil.
Plus,
Hulk
Dr.
is like
a
Captain
giant.
America.
Hulk is like a
In
monster.
this new reality, firefighters are the real heroes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Well,
sure, sure.
firefighters are real heroes everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
So that night, but in this universe, they ask for photographs and autographs.
Yeah.
That night, Tony looks at a picture of himself and Peter Parker. Only because he
hot
doesn't know how to
tubs.
wash dishes properly.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, fuck, that's right.
Couldn't build a robot for that.
No.
Oh,
I
he
think
was
he's
done
tired.
with robots.
He's done with robots.
Done with robots.
So Tony decides to try to, just invent time travel. And then he just, does a few things and he does it.
Easily. Barely an inconvenience.
Barely inconvenience. And it's like, there's a theory out there that he was actually secretly working on it for the whole 5 years.
That would make more sense.
But he wouldn't be inventing a time travel GPS. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just.
Right. He didn't get the idea until they gave him that idea, pretty much.
He just does it and he figures it out. And
Right.
hey, there it is.
It would have been nice to have like trial 1,000 of like,
Sure.
100 million or whatever.
Yes, but then his daughter was watching him and heard him say shit, and they share some juice pops, and he puts her back in bed, and she says, "I love you 3,000," which is one of the most memorable lines of the movie.
Apparently, one of Robert Downey Jr.'s kids said it to him once, so he used it in the film. And,
Oh, that's
the
really
Russos
cool.
Loved it, yeah.
Nice. Then Tony tells Pepper, he's like, I invented time travel, but maybe I should just put it in a lockbox and go to bed. But Pepper says, but would you be able to rest? So much foreshadowing, like it's just, wow.
Oh, damn. I didn't get that. He rested at the end.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks, sure. This is going to be fun with Josh figuring shit out while he just watched the movie, but he didn't see anything.
God damn it.
Meanwhile, the team tries to do a time travel test without Tony, and it goes hilariously wrong.
This was so much fun.
Scott comes back as a young boy, then an old man, then a baby, and Steve's like, it's a baby. It's Scott as a baby. He'll grow.
Yeah,
That was funny. I appreciate that.
And then he comes back as his normal self, and he's like, someone peed my pants, but I don't know if it was baby me or old me, or just me. Time travel! travel. Then Tony pulls up in his Audi e-tron, and the only reason I know that is because it was the entire fucking screen.
Yeah.
Audi e-tron.
Yeah. How much did
And-
they pay for that? Hey, 1 billion people are going to watch this.
Yeah, millions and millions.
Oh my God.
Still only sold 5.
Right.
That's expensive.
And they broke even.
They broke even, yeah.
So Tony makes up with Rogers. He gives him back the Captain America shield.
There's a nice line when he pulls up. He's like, "Let me guess, he turned into a baby."
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Instead of pushing Lang through time, you push time through Lang. It's dangerous. Someone should have warned you about it. And he's like,
Damn.
yeah, you did. And he's like, oh, did I? Oh, thank God I'm here. Shows it off. He's such a cocky asshole, but he's so great.
He's so smart.
So meanwhile, Hulk and Rocket visit Thor in New Asgard in Norway, but he's a fat and depressed drunk. But also, in my opinion, the best character in this movie.
I mean, it's
He did have some good moments.
Love him so much in this movie. Like, what a bold thing to do, where you actually change a character's entire personality and
Right.
he's just a fucking wreck.
Right.
But like a beautiful wreck.
But it made sense.
It makes
It was
sense. I'm like,
perfect.
yeah, everyone's depressed. This is depression.
Yes.
This is like true depression.
Yeah.
Eating, drinking every day, not
Right.
leaving the room. Like
Right.
he feels the weight of this whole thing.
Yeah.
You would think the other Avengers would have some kind of
Right.
long term, but like no, they're all still working out, staying in shape,
Yeah.
Right. Because
figuring shit out,
Even when Hulk and Rocket
fighting
show
fires.
up. Yeah. Even when Hulk and Rocket show up, he's like, oh, you guys here to fix the cable?
Yeah.
It's so great.
And then Korg playing Fortnite. And Thor yelling at Noob Master 69.
Thor, he's back again.
He
Yeah.
just called me a dickhead again. Noob Master. Yeah, Noob Master 69. He's like yelling at him. Then Thor freaks out when Hulk mentions Thanos. And he doesn't want to go with them, But then Rocket says, there's beer on the ship. And Thor asks, what kind? And again, Thor is Homer Simpson. Thor is Homer. If you want Homer to do anything, you lure him with beer. And that's what they did with Thor.
That was a great moment, though. How as soon as they showed up, he was just playing and clowning, and everything was a joke.
Yeah.
Until he said Thanos, and then you could just see like his face turn white.
Yes. It was awesome. Meanwhile, Natasha goes to Tokyo to find Hawkeye, who has just brutally murdered a bunch of Yakuza.
It was so funny because he
funny.
just no because he murdered all the Yakuza, and the only thing I can think of was Natasha in the background going,
Because right after he kills the last guy, she's right there. She's just like, well done, Clint.
Fuck those guys.
she couldn't have said stop or anything. She's just like, that's my man. I trained him well.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, they were both assassins. That's the
Yeah.
story. They both killed so many people.
So Natasha tells Barton we found something, a chance maybe, but Barton tells her what I tell the Jets every year. Don't give me hope.
Yeah.
Don't give me hope.
Right.
Because he feels like he'll just get to Avengers headquarters and then Tony Stark will tear his Achilles.
Yes.
And it'll ruin everything.
That's it.
Oh wow, so
And
many
then-
parallels.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then we'll have to have like the little boy from Iron Man 3 be Iron Man. And he's going to really fucking suck. And even though like we have some replacements that could do better, they won't replace him.
Oh my
Right.
God. That boy's name, I think, was Zach.
They'll just
It figures. All Zacks can go fuck themselves. Unless you're one of our patrons, then we love you. Or
Yes. All Zach quarterbacks on the Jets.
all quarterbacks
Suck.
named Zach Wilson on the Jets could burn in hell. So back at the base, Tony calls Thor Lebowski, which is great since Lebowski was the villain of the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah, right. That's
that's right.
So good.
They make
funny.
so many references to movies that they are in this movie.
Right.
They mentioned Hot Tub
great.
Time Machine,
Right.
And like Bucky was in Hot
Yeah.
Tub Time Machine,
Right.
Bucky was in Out That Time Machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan, yeah.
He was the asshole that was always picking on,
Oh shit.
just not as buff,
Wow.
not buff at
No.
all.
Oh, okay, I got it. All right.
He's hilarious in that movie.
Yep.
Barton agrees to do the time travel test run, and Rhodey suggests they go back in time and kill baby Thanos. But Hulk explains that's not how time travel works. And Scott's like, so Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
Yeah.
Which is a great fucking line. So Barton goes back in time. He finds his family, brings back a baseball glove to prove that it worked. So they're all excited. And then the team has a brainstorming session. And they ask Thor to explain the ether. But he starts droning on about Jane Foster.
Right.
And Tony's like, all right, great. Breakfast, eggs? And he's like, no, I'd like a Bloody Mary.
I'm not finished yet.
I'm not done. You know, the only permanent thing about life is impermanence. It's so fucking good in this movie. In the scene where Rocket, this was great because we're watching this. I never realized this before. And Aaron's only seen this movie twice. Maybe Joe noticed it. But in the scene where Rocket is treating Scott like a puppy, he's like, you want to go to space, puppy?
Yeah.
Aaron noticed that Hulk was eating his Ben & Jerry's Hulk ice cream.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Like you could see, he's holding a giant thing of Ben & Jerry's, and it has Hulk on it.
That's great.
It was the one they mentioned in
Infinity War.
in
Yeah,
Infinity
Hulk
War,
burning fudge.
Right.
Yeah. That's a thing?
Yeah.
That actually sounds delicious.
I want some Hulk burning fudge, yeah.
It's probably like mint, right? It's probably like chocolate mint.
I'm out.
Never
Me
mind.
too.
I don't
I'm
want it. Okay, fuck it.
Any ice cream that's green is always like minty and shit.
Yeah.
So Rogers gives the pep talk before the mission with the big line, whatever it takes. Yeah, so
And
good.
it was such a satisfying moment when he's giving the speech, and after everything that's happened, Tony looks over and just kind of smiles at him while
Yeah.
he's giving the speech. Like,
Right.
yeah, that's my boy.
Exactly. So Tony, we'll cover these one at a time because they constantly go back and forth, and it would just be, we'd be going all over the place.
Sure.
But first we have Tony, Steve, Scott, and Hulk go to the Battle of New York from the first Avengers film. Smart Hulk is embarrassed by his past self.
Yeah.
And then he has a fun little scene where he's breaking shit and pretending to be like
Trying to like, I'm over this.
maybe smash a few things. Hulk demands the time stone from the Ancient One, but she does the thing where she pushes him out of his body.
I love this little interaction. You know, first she's like,
good.
oh, you're looking for Strange. He's down the street performing surgery.
Right.
You know, you're 5 years too early.
Yes,
They all
yes.
know everything about time.
Right.
And this big monster, there's all monsters everywhere. And a big monster lands and she doesn't kill him or anything. She's
Yep.
just like, hey, we're going to start over. She
Yep.
pushes him out.
So they wait for the original Avengers to win the battle. This was a really cool scene because you see what happens right after Loki says, I'll have that drink now.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Because it's like, what happened after that? They just awkwardly stood around. It was like, yep, that's what happened. They awkwardly stood around.
Yeah.
I appreciated all the footage.
Yeah, it was good. Tony makes fun of Roger's ass in his original suit, but Scott's like, as far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass. And he even salutes. He
great.
salutes his ass.
So good.
And Hulk is also pissed that they won't let him in the elevator. Meanwhile, Rogers goes in the elevator that Hydra is in, and it's very similar to the scene in Winter Soldier.
Right.
Right. You know what's crazy? Like so many like one word things stop villains. Hell Hydra. Or
Right.
like Bucky's still alive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, not that Captain America's a villain, Josh, but
Yes.
yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. It's just so many small words
big.
stop.
Well,
things.
also, like, this was only like a year or two after they had Captain America in a comic
Turn heel.
and apparently he was always, and in the comic he says Hail
Oh,
Hydra.
right. He was always part of Hydra.
So like, people talk about how fan service this movie is. It's the biggest fan service movie ever.
Yeah.
And for them to do that in like a troll way, because everyone hated that,
Right.
that they did that in a comic, but oh, Hail Hydra. And then he leaves with the scepter.
So good.
In the lobby, Ant-Man goes inside past Tony. He's like, I'm going inside you.
That's right.
As Tony fights over the Space Stone with Mr. Secretary, Ant-Man pulls part of Tony's, whatever you fucking call it. on his
Defibrillator?
on his chest.
his battery. His
battery.
And future Tony grabs the case. He's all cocky. He's like, I'm going to grab a quick slice.
Oh my God.
And then Hulk busts through the fucking stairway, the doors. Oh, stairs! Fuck you, stairs!
Yeah, did that actually happen? Like, I guess back
Yeah.
then, like They made him take the stairs. I wouldn't
Right.
piss off Hulk.
Exactly.
Plus, why can't he just go out a window and just jump straight down?
Yeah. And then the space stone falls right in front of Loki's feet. He grabs it and he leaves to go star in Loki the series.
I was gonna say he goes to Loki the series. Girl.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rogers runs into his past self, who thinks he's Loki. So they have an awesome fight. Again, one of the best lines was young Captain America saying, "I could do this all day." Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
And past Rogers wins the fight, but future Rogers tells him that Bucky is alive, and then uses the scepter to knock him out, basically.
Yeah.
And then he looks at him and he goes, "That is America's ass."
That is America's
It
ass.
is America's ass.
Very cocky thing for him to
I
say.
mean, he's just he's so funny in this movie to where
Right.
he like never was in past movies.
He's because you're so used to him being a goody two shoes.
Yeah.
Anything different is like, oh, upgrade.
He's
okay.
saying he said ass, son of a bitch. And then when he sees his past self, he goes, "You got to be shitting me."
Right.
It's like, yes, finally.
Andy fucked Peggy Carter.
Well, sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Meanwhile, Bruce tells the Ancient One that Doctor Strange gave away the Time Stone, and that convinces her to give it to Bruce. And then Tony tells Steve that he knows where they can get the Space Stone and more Pym particles. And another big line where Tony asks Steve, "You trust me?" And he says, "I do." And
I do. Dun, dun, dun.
Tony and Steve go to a military base in New Jersey in 1970. Stan Lee has this was after he died.
Yeah.
He has a cameo as he drives past the base and yells, "Make love, not war."
And apparently they looked up photos of him in 1970, and this is what he looked like.
Right.
Yeah, they tried to match that. Yeah,
That photo where he's laying naked, but he's covered up, right?
something weird like that. Yeah.
People also thought Mark Maron played him in this scene.
He looks a lot
Because
like
he
him.
looked just like him.
Yeah.
But he was like, "No, I didn't play
Yeah.
him in this scene."
Right.
So Tony finds the Space Stone, but his father's there. Howard tells Tony, "My wife's expecting." She's expecting Tony, and
Yep.
Tony has a nice conversation with his dad, hugs him, thanks him for everything that he's done for this country.
Right.
It was a sweet moment because Tony always hated his dad in these movies, and he got closure, and he realized like he wasn't such a bad guy after all.
Yeah, he's like, after all this time, I only remember the good things.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even Howard tells him, he's like, the greater good has always outweighed my own self-interest. And that's what Tony became.
Right.
Tony
Right.
did the same exact thing. He's like, "Oh, I get it now."
Yeah.
It was also a nice payoff because it was either at the beginning of Iron Man 2 or 3. The movie opens with him doing like a virtual reality thing where he's like talking to his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's clear
Yes.
that he wanted that goodbye moment.
Of course.
And he got to have it finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome. Also, Howard's driver's name is Jarvis.
Oh, that's so good.
Forget that.
An English guy named Jarvis. Come on.
And then, meanwhile, while Tony's having this amazing emotional thing, Steve Rogers is prank calling young Hank Pym, Michael Douglas. And by the way, the CGI on Michael Douglas was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
To make him look young.
Crazy.
He gets in his office, he grabs more Pym particles, and then he jerks off while he watches Peggy Carter in the other room.
Sure.
That was strange, right? Thank God it was a two-way mirror, right? So she couldn't see.
That's what we're assuming. Yeah. She was
Right.
right next to him.
Yeah, I guess so. But so I guess Hank Pym was always creeping on her then.
Yeah.
Maybe so. I mean, could you blame him?
Yeah.
Could you blame him?
I mean, the lights were off in the room he was in, so
Right.
she didn't think to look over there.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he did rub one out. I mean, he hasn't seen his
Why not?
girlfriend in a long time.
Yeah,
but
could
it'd be
you-
super sperm, right? Wouldn't have shot through things? I don't know. Whatever.
It doesn't shoot like bullets, Josh.
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, maybe.
Then we have Thor and Rocket go to Asgard during the time of Thor: Dark World, which is still I haven't seen. I think it's the only MCU movie I haven't seen.
I've seen it once.
But Thor is too mentally weak to complete the mission. And Renee Russo, Thor's mother, catches him and realizes he's not the Thor from her time. And
Right.
Thor's mom tells him that everyone fails at who they're supposed to be, and he should just be who he is. Just be
Oh,
yourself.
that's so sweet.
And meanwhile, Rocket shoves the thing up Jane's ass.
Yeah, he walks right behind her.
Speculative.
He's ass high. It's
speculative.
his only height.
He's ass high.
However, all those guards did chase him very quickly.
And they
so-
all the Asgardians think he's a rabbit. Just like Thor thought he was a rabbit.
Maybe they don't
All
know-
Asgardians think that Rocket's a rabbit.
They don't know what
rabbit.
They're like,
raccoons
come
are.
back, rabbit! And then right before they leave, Thor reaches his arm out, and he is shocked that he is still worthy of his hammer.
Yeah.
I'm still worthy. And Rocket's like, oh, boy.
That
Then we have Rhodey and Nebula go back to the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But then we cut to past Nebula and past Gamora, who are still with Thanos at this point. Past Nebula's head shows Thanos a conversation between future Nebula and Rhodey.
This was a little confusing, but you know, it's fine.
They
it's
were
kinda cool.
sharing the same network
Yeah.
or something like that.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanos finds out there's another Nebula. Rhodey and Nebula then watch Star-Lord singing and dancing from the open of the first Guardians movie.
So funny.
And, and then just knocks him out with a bitch slap.
I just love how you hear it from his perspective.
Yeah, without
it's
the music.
So off tone.
It's perfect. And Rhodey's just like, so he's an idiot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhodey and Nebula get the Power Stone and sync up, but Nebula gets trapped there because her shit fucks up again.
Yep.
Thanos then sees his entire future through Nebula's brain, and Nebula assures that she would never betray him, and he tells her, you'll have the chance to prove it. And they capture future Nebula, and she tries to tell Gamora what Thanos does to her, but past Nebula beats her up, and she puts on... I guess evil Nebula puts on good Nebula's shit.
There you go. Thank
to
you
look
for
like
breaking
her.
it down.
And she gives Thanos a Pym particle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And that's all the explanation is given for how Thanos...
Shrinks.
Well, no, but that's just the only explanation for how Thanos time travels to the
it gets
future
there.
later.
Right.
I guess it makes
I
sense.
guess he has Nebula's thing or whatever, but he's probably got great technology. Squidward's really smart.
Probably,
Yes,
for sure.
for sure.
Magic, whatever.
Yep.
Then Natasha and Clint go to Vormir, and they get the rundown from Red Skull. And the two of them fight over who gets to die. And this was such a good fight scene. Because first you think it's going to be Clint
Right.
that dies. Then Natasha's like, tell him yourself. And then he shoots her down. And then he's jumping off the cliff. But she catches him. And oh my
This was
God.
so heartbreaking because they were trying their hardest to be the
commit
first person
suicide,
that
yeah.
died.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just so fucking
And it's
heartbreaking.
funny because in Avengers 2, they wanted you to think that Hawkeye was dying.
Right.
And then you didn't see that coming. And then they do it again in this one where you're like, oh yeah, it's gotta be Clint. But nope, it's Natasha. And another heartbreaking scene.
Ugh.
Man.
Not only that, because then you see her limpless body on the ground too. Like
Yeah.
With her
Jesus
head bashed
Christ.
in. They always show the blood around the head
Yeah.
too. It's like,
Gamora's was green
Yeah.
in the last in Infinity
that's
War.
right.
sure,
yeah.
sure.
So everyone travels back to the base. They're all excited at first, but then they just see Clint standing there and they realize that Natasha died. Thor has a really tough time accepting it. He's like, no, man, like, you don't understand. She's not coming back.
Well, yes, he's like, we have time machines.
Yeah.
Let's just go time machine her back.
Yeah. He's like, you're just an earthly human being. You don't know about space magic.
That's right. He does that.
So,
My mom was murdered by an elf.
right, yeah. So Tony makes his own gauntlet with the stones. Thor wants the responsibility, but they don't trust him in his current emotional state. And Hulk also says, lightning won't help you. It's got to be me. The radiation's mostly
Well, he has a
gamma.
good line where he's like, what do you think's flowing through my veins?
Cheese whiz?
Cheese whiz? And he's like,
He's like, ouch.
Yeah.
Fair.
So Hulk puts on the gauntlet. He's in agonizing pain, but he finally manages to snap his fingers. And then Clint gets a phone call from his wife. And Scott says, I think it worked. But then Hulk looks up as he's laying down and just sees Thanos' ship start just shooting at the fucking headquarters.
Yeah.
Thanos blows up Avengers headquarters. But don't worry, they all survived.
yeah, everyone.
There's a
They're superheroes.
Right.
there's a video on YouTube. I think it's how it should have ended.
Yeah.
Those cartoons where like Thanos shows up, blows up all of the headquarters, and he's like, "Who survived?" And they're like, "Everyone." It's like, what?
There's a really cool scene, because the first blast hits Scott. And as the blast is hitting Scott,
Yes, right.
he turns into ant size.
Yes,
It's
he
so
shrinks.
cool,
That
yeah.
is really cool.
And then this was the frustrating scene because Rhodey escapes from the
Canopy!
canopy, and then he starts doing the army crawl.
Yeah.
because the scroll
Fuck you.
The scroll is in complete kayfabe.
No one's around him. That even proves right there that
no,
it's not
of
a
course,
scroll.
of
They would have
course.
got up and ran the fuck out of there.
Of course, yeah. You just want to piss off every fan
Yeah.
by doing that. So Thanos tells Evil Nebula, find the stones and bring them to me. And she's like, what will you do? And he just says, wait. Bring me the fucking stones, bitch.
Yeah.
Evil Gamora past Gamora tells good Nebula, we can stop him. Rogers wakes up and he's like, what happened? And Tony says, you mess with time, it tends to mess back. You'll see.
It's a good line.
And then Tony, Steve, and Thor go after Thanos, who tells them, you cannot live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. And Thanos says he's learned that he has to kill the entire universe and start from scratch.
What does that even mean?
Right.
Like, why? I don't know.
A grateful universe.
I think a better line there should have been like, I just need to kill every Earthling
Sure.
to make sure that you guys don't try to fight this again. That would have made more sense
Fuck this up.
than destroy the entire universe,
Well, he
including
did-
himself.
Well,
He
he also
did-
probably sees himself as a god. He wants to be the creator.
Oh, maybe.
He did kind of say that too. He's like, I don't take joy in what I do, but I will take joy in
Later he
destroying.
does say that, yeah, especially this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's like, yeah, a grateful universe. And Captain's like, built with blood. And he's like, they'll never know it because you won't be alive to tell them. And then they start this epic fucking fight. Meanwhile, Hawkeye finds the gauntlet, but he's chased by a bunch of CGI monster dogs, but he kills them all. Space dogs. And then Evil Nebula is about to kill Clint, but Gamora points her gun at her. And good Nebula tells Evil Nebula, like, you've seen what we become.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this. But Evil Nebula tries to shoot Gamora, but good Nebula shoots and kills Evil Nebula.
Wow. And this
Damn.
is where it proves to you that this is not Back to the Future.
Correct.
rules.
Right.
Because
She
she would
should've
have been wiped
disappeared.
away.
Exactly.
Wow.
I still don't really get it,
Wow.
but
I don't get it either. But
Well,
it was,
you explained how
was a
time
fun
travel
scene.
works to everyone.
it was a good scene. Good scene. Good scene.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can make your own rules because time travel doesn't exist.
Right.
Does it?
Then Thanos is about to stab Thor with Stormbreaker, but the hammer hits Thor. You see the hammer start to lift up.
Yeah.
And watching this, it's like, oh, I guess Thor's calling for it.
Right.
You know?
I didn't know in the theaters.
No.
You watch some of these fan reaction, like, oh,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
the pre-cum. Oh, like people know what's happening.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The hammer hits Thanos, and then it flies back and lands in Captain America's hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's like, I fucking knew it.
Yeah, I knew it.
I knew it. Yeah.
Oh.
Even later, the Russo brothers like admitted that in Avengers 2, like Cap didn't lift the hammer just because he didn't want to.
Yeah.
He didn't want to show
Well, he
up
budged it.
Thor.
Right.
Right.
So Rogers gets a few good shots in with the hammer.
A few
Even
great shots.
Uses the lightning
Oh my
to
God.
strike Thanos.
Yeah.
But Thanos knocks it away from him and chops his shield in half.
Ouch.
And his arm. He got a good gash
He got
on
a
his
couple
arm,
of good
too.
cuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was whacking at it pretty hard.
Right.
And that's where Thanos tells Rogers, in all my years of conquest, it was never personal. But I'm about to do to your annoying planet. I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh.
And then Thanos' army of thousands and thousands
Yes.
shows up. They're slowly walking towards him. Rogers knows he's fucked. He's done for.
But he's the ultimate soldier.
But he stands up. He reattaches his shield to his arm.
He's going to go
And then-
fight all of them.
And then what happens?
Or die.
Cap, Sam, can you hear me? Cap, it's Sam. On your left.
On your left.
Come on. You gotta hit some
know you said
buttons. Hit some buttons,
I know you
Andrew.
said we're not going to do it, but
You know how many times I came during that moment?
22
22 times.
Yeah.
I
And
came
you
even
can.
more.
Yeah.
I came even more. It was,
Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, how many times?
yeah, exactly.
2022.
I was almost on my deathbed. I was
Yeah.
Right. all out of fluids.
Thank God this movie came out before the COVID thing. Like, this was only,
Imagine.
this came out like,
6 months before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh shit, this started COVID.
We would have had to watch. We would have had to watch this movie at home on Disney Plus. That would have been
Would
awful.
not have been the same.
Or they're just like, we're going to wait a year to release in theaters. No! Yeah.
And then a year goes by, 2 years, 3 years.
Right. So one of Doctor Strange portals opens. Black Panther walks through with his people, followed by everyone else, and Spider-Man.
Oh,
Another-
shit.
Spider-Man!
There he is.
Yes, Spider-Man.
I'm here, Mr. Stark. Oh, it's
Strange
so
asks
great.
Wong, is that everyone? He's like, you wanted more?
Yeah.
And then Ant-Man gets huge. He rescues Hulk, Rocket, Rhodey, and they all line up together. Dun 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 dun. Avengers! Gets the hammer. Assemble.
Just
The
busting.
biggest, just
Right. Amazing.
Great fan service.
This might have been like the best one of like all movies ever. Like the biggest like pop.
that was the best moment in the movie.
For
right?
sure.
Yeah. I would say.
Avengers.
Like the
Assemble.
theater I was in was just like insanely loud. Like everyone
So
was
amazing.
cheering.
How many
It was fucking
wizards are
amazing.
there?
A lot.
That's a lot of wizards.
It's a lot of wizards.
You've never helped out before outside of a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, well, now you got to help out.
Yeah.
Pepper's also in her
Rescue
suit that he made her, that
Right.
they teased earlier in the movie. They fight together. Then Tony's about to get stabbed by a giant monster, but Spider-Man whips the guy down. Ant-Man steps on him.
So great.
And Peter's like, oh my God, hey, Mr. Stark, remember when we were in space and I got all dusty? And Tony is so fucking happy to see Peter.
Yeah.
Remember in Homecoming when Tony didn't want to hug Peter?
Yeah.
Right.
Long-term storytelling.
Right.
And he gives Peter this huge
Peter's like,
hug.
what's happening? Oh,
Trying
this
to hug
feels
you, I'm just
good.
opening the door.
Yeah.
This feels good.
Oh my God. Oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a tearjerker that was.
Real nice.
Especially
Yeah.
for what came. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Us.
Exactly. Then Gamora saves Peter Quill, and he's shocked to see her. He tries to touch her, but she knocks him down, and he has a great line. You missed the first time, then you got them both the second time. And then Gamora asks Nebula, this one? Seriously? The choices were him or a tree.
Yeah. Yep.
So then Ant-Man reveals the Van time machine, and their new plan is to bring the gauntlet there. Tony asks Strange, he's like, you said 1 out of 14 million? Tell me this is it? And Strange says, if I tell you what happens, it won't happen. And Tony's like, you better be right. So Black Panther gets the...
I'd like to think at this point, had he had told him that, yeah, you're going to make a big sacrifice, Tony would have been like, okay, I'm down.
No, but if he told him, he watched a different version of this fight where he tells Tony and then it fucks the whole thing up, Chad.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Jesus.
You're right. You're right.
I am right. So then Black Panther runs with the gauntlet, but Thanos knocks him down. Spider-Man gets the gauntlet and activates instant kill and kills a bunch of CGI monsters. Wanda then tells Thanos, you took everything from me. And he says, I don't even know where you are. You will. And, she's so fucking powerful
Fucking amazing.
that she was actually about to kill Thanos.
Right.
She was. Yeah.
Right.
But it's
Then
over.
he orders to rain fire on everyone.
Rain fire. But Saya, all troops.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Fuck those CGI dogs.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that one of the blasts knocks out Wanda. Then Spider-Man starts getting overwhelmed by monsters, so Cap throws the hammer towards him and he thwips on it to get away. He
so
lands
cool.
on Valkyrie, but they get hit. He falls and there's
Oh my
blasts
God.
everywhere. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, Thanos' ship starts shooting into the sky. And they're like, something entered the atmosphere. And Captain Marvel flies through Thanos' ship. Destroys his ship like that. Just flies through it.
Right through it. It's done. It's over. Smash.
It's like, well, if she could fly through a ship, certainly anything else is a
Nothing.
walk in the park.
Yeah, fist
You
fight
would think
with
so,
Thanos.
right?
She's not gonna lose that.
But
He
she-
can't fly through a ship.
No, he
She
can't.
almost beat him.
Yeah,
Wow.
sure.
Yeah.
Then Peter gives Captain Marvel the gauntlet, and all the women back her up
Yeah.
for a big girl power
Girl
scene.
power.
She's like, I'm peanut butter.
Listen, I know me and Joe kind of talked about it too. It was forced.
It was
but
very forced,
It was fine.
It was a really nice
It was
moment.
a- it was a good
fun
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
but it was certainly
It was
forced.
so forced, right? Yeah. Then Marvel flies toward the van, but Thanos destroys the van with his double-edged sword.
All that worked about the van just ruined in that single
Right,
moment.
where it's like,
and his sword blows it up like a sword.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess he's got powers.
And people have also pointed this out. Like, couldn't Captain Marvel put on the gauntlet and lived?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You know,
But they were trying
Or
to send it through
most
time.
likely.
But yeah, she could have.
Hulk maybe on his right arm. You know.
Or his other arm
His
left.
other-
well, but the thumb is on the wrong.
Oh right. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess I would.
I'm sure Tony could fix that, but he's fighting.
Fuck.
So Thanos puts on the gauntlet, but Captain Marvel stops him right before he can snap his fingers. He headbutts her, but she no-sells. Right. So Thanos rips off the Power Stone, and then just punches her away. Then
She's
Strange.
like holding a punch. The timing of this wasn't great. She's like, just, I'm holding it. I'm holding it.
She was charging.
It was a goddamn AEW match, is what it was.
Shut up.
It's great.
Then Strange looks at Tony, and he gives him a 1 with his hand. And also, Strange is like stopping the water from. I don't understand that part.
Yeah.
Like
weird.
they just need Strange to be indisposed in this
Maybe.
Yeah.
moment.
probably.
Like there's water. I gotta stop the water.
Right.
You know, I feel like he could have been doing anything else, but
Yeah.
Thanos puts the Power Stone back on the gauntlet. Tony tries to stop him, but Thanos knocks him away. And all cocky Thanos says, "I am inevitable."
Dun, dun.
Clink. And then it's just like,
At that moment again, I was like, "Oh fuck, he's gonna win again," because you know
right.
you wouldn't think.
You just
And then we
never know.
see that Tony's got the stones, and he says, "And I am Iron Man."
Boom. Original line from the ending of the first
Yeah.
movie.
By
that
the
really
way-
kicked us all off.
He didn't originally say that in the movie. Like they filmed everything, and in the original thing, he just has the stones and he just snaps his fingers.
That was ADR.
They had to convince him to come back.
Oh wow!
Because someone got the idea, like, holy shit, he should say I'm Iron Man. And then, like, apparently they had to do some really good convincing to get Robert Downey Jr. to come back because he was like, he's like, I said goodbye to the character, like I did everything, like we had
Right.
the big party and he's like, I'm done with, and they had to really convince him to come back to record that.
I think it worked. It was perfect.
Of course,
Perfect.
Thank God he came back.
Yes.
Thank God they thought of this.
Only way to end
Thank
it.
you, Robert
Yes.
Downey Jr. Thank you.
Right, and thank you to whoever thought of this.
Yeah.
And I also like that when he snapped his fingers, he said, kill all of Thanos' troops and then kill Thanos last.
Let him see it.
Let him see it.
Thought all of that in his brain.
Thanos watches his troops dust away, and then he has a seat because he knows what it's like to lose. Your legs turn to jelly. So Thanos can't stand up.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Sure.
He sits down and then he dusts away. And in theaters watching this, I was just like giving middle fingers to the screen. I was like, fuck you, as he just dusts
You
away.
are completely pathetic.
Oh no. What would you say, Andrew? Fucking Mark.
Yeah, you were marking out.
Sure, absolutely, yeah, why not? That was Josh Reese. I was going, go fuck yourself, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we have Tony just, he's sitting there. Rhodey takes a look at him. And then Peter tells Tony,
Scroll.
shut up. He's like, we did it, sir. You did it. We won. Peter's crying. And then Pepper gets there and she's like, Friday. And Friday tells her that, that he's done for, basically.
Yeah, and this is the weirdest thing. My allergies kick in at this part of the movie
know.
every time I watch it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like,
It is strange.
There must be some
Every
weird dust
single
or something.
time.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Just like start
Starting to happen again right now.
tearing up.
Yeah.
I'm reading these words.
Yeah. Also, Tony's last line in the movie is not "I'm Iron Man." It's "Hey Pep."
Hey Pep.
He very faintly says, "Hey Pep,"
Hey Pep.
Right.
I'm dead.
and she, I'm dead, and she tells Tony she's like, "Tony, we're gonna be okay. You can rest now." And Tony
damn it.
dies. No. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really sad.
It's really sad.
Finally rest.
I mean, I don't know. My hole
My
was
whole-
hurting.
Yeah.
I was yelling
This is bullshit.
and I was like, "Do something, Spider-Man!"
And I was just like,
Jesus!
Oh, it's good.
Vince McMahon was watching.
That's tremendous.
He fucking loved it because he's a shithead.
This was just like so impactful. I mean, this 2-part story was just so well told. It was great.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
They watch a video that Tony recorded in case of an untimely death, and he ends it with "I love you 3000." And somehow he figured out how to look right at Morgan
Sure.
when he was recording the video.
Technology.
And she's like, she's deathly afraid.
Freaking
what
out.
the fuck? They have a funeral. Everyone shows up, even Nick Fury. Or is he a Skrull? Was it Skrull Nick Fury? I don't know.
Jesus.
It could have been. No, I still want to
No,
know.
like they have a scene where Nick Fury and Rhodey look at each other and they both wink, like, gotcha. Yeah.
Or Talos shows up.
Talos, yeah.
I still want to know who the fuck that kid was.
He was the kid from Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
The kid from Iron Man 3?
Yes.
Hey, he like interacts with a kid. The whole movie.
Why would he get a ticket to the funeral?
A ticket?
I don't know. Why would he get invited?
A ticket?
Why would he get invited? You know what I meant, motherfucker.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Why would he get invited to the funeral?
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird to throw him because then you're watching the whole
It was
thing. You're
weird,
like, wait,
sure,
who's
but
that?
I don't think he bought a ticket on Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
I don't think they
damn
were
it.
selling
It was an
tickets.
You know what I
exclusive
meant.
event, according to Josh.
Yes.
Are you going
you
to
think
Tony's
you
funeral?
Would need
Ooh, Tony's funeral.
You would need
You know
some
what was
tickets.
fucked up is there was like $100 in ticket fees for the funeral. It was very fucked up. Ticketmaster.
Wait, is that the stuff that Joe Biden's trying to fight?
I think so.
Okay.
What the fuck? So anyways, Wanda tells Clint that, Natasha and Vision know that they won. Happy tells Morgan, I'm going to get you all the cheeseburgers you want because your dad liked cheeseburgers.
I did want to just say, like, this scene with Scarlet Witch was kind of weird, especially knowing, like, what happened afterwards. And she went crazy.
Right.
And went to that whole town.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
What else happened?
well, she went fucking bananas. And she tried to enslave the whole town. It was fucking crazy.
Yep. Tell us more.
Well, I mean, after she went to the town, we had Agatha show up. It was really kind of strange.
All right, that's enough.
But yeah, it was just kind of fucked up.
Yeah, sure.
Then Thor tells Valkyrie that she's the new king of Asgard. Thor goes with the Guardians, and we all thought that we were getting the Asgardians of the Galaxy movie. Like, everyone was like, oh my God, like they're going to do a fucking Thor and Guardians crossover movie.
They kind of did it.
No, they didn't.
No,
it was
they
10
didn't.
minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that would have been amazing.
Right.
Thor and Star-Lord argue over, where to go to first. The team suggests they fight for leadership. And they're like, oh, yes, use knives and everything like that. And Thor's like, no, everyone knows who's in charge. And Quill says, me, right?
Right.
And Thor's like, of course, of course, of course, of course.
It was great.
So good. Then Captain America leaves to return the stones and the hammer to the original timelines. But Bucky's the only one, if you pay attention, Bucky's the only one who knew that Steve wasn't going to come back.
Yeah.
Because he even tells him, he's like, I'll miss you, man.
Yeah.
He says the line, like, don't do anything stupid while I'm gone.
Right.
How can I? You're taking all the stupid with you.
Yep.
And you can tell Bucky is
Heart.
sad.
Yeah, Bucky said.
So Steve leaves, but he doesn't come back. Sam's freaking out, but then Bucky finds him sitting on a bench not too far away and tells Sam, go ahead. And then Steve Rogers turned into Joe Biden.
Yeah, looked just like him.
Come on. A more lucid Joe Biden.
A more lucid, like a 75-year-old Joe Biden.
Sure. Sure.
When he was vice president.
I was just amazed that he found his way there. He must have took him forever to walk there.
I was trying to get here for 10 years, man.
How the fuck did he creep up on all those people?
Yeah. Rogers tells Sam, after I put the stones back, I thought maybe I'd try to get some of that life Tony was telling me to get, and it was beautiful. And then Steve gives Sam the shield to anoint him as the new Captain America. And then Sam notices the wedding ring and asks, you gonna tell me about her? Steve says, no, I don't think I will. Which, like, at the time in theaters, everyone just like had like a little chuckle, like, that's great,
Yeah.
The final shot shows a young Steve and Peggy dancing in a house, and they kiss as we cut to black. Aww. That's cinema, Martin Scorsese.
Yes.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Didn't win any Oscars, but
Like,
it's
what a
cinema.
beautiful ending.
Yeah.
Beautiful ending. Amazing payoff.
I mean,
yeah.
to the whole series. I mean, it was great.
Yes.
So great.
So fucking great.
Yeah.
Fucking everything since Iron Man 1 was leading up to this. Fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So can I just tell you guys? So I had it spoiled for me that Iron Man was dying going into this.
Right.
So
Well, you didn't see it opening night.
I didn't see it opening night. So
That
I
was
was
the problem.
I was so angry. I didn't go see it in theaters at all.
Right.
I never got that experience. I waited like 9 months and watched it on Disney Plus at home. So tonight was kind of like my seeing it in theater experience.
Right.
Way different.
Dude.
Yeah.
Way
You know
different.
it'll be in theaters again one day. Like they, like how I just saw The Dark Knight in theaters.
Oh, of course,
You got to
yeah.
do it when it, like, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, when did this movie come out?
2019.
Okay, okay, we still got Wells for the 10-year anniversary.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Sure.
But 10 out of 10s across the board.
Not even
10 out of 10.
close.
10 out of 10.
10, 11 out of 10.
An angry 10 out of 10. Yes, because it could have been more perfect. They could have just let him retire, but yes, 10 out of 10.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's do fan questions. Bobby the Mark Soydam. I always think about this. Endgame came out in 2019. Imagine if it was a year later, we would. Oh my God, that's so funny.
I know, yeah.
That's so funny.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
The Rizzler's no better line than Avengers Assemble. Got shivers just thinking of that scene. Of course, it was the best. PCJ, this movie was an emotional roller coaster on a lot of levels for me. My father passed away in November 2018, only 11 days after I learned that I was going to be a father for the first time.
Wow.
My father
shit.
died of a sudden stroke at his home, and I was unable to say goodbye to him. Watching Tony have the opportunity to say goodbye to his dad in Endgame was so beautiful.
Right.
Of course, the rest of the movie was filled with many emotional moments as well that just cannot be replicated.
I know exactly how I feel, pop culture junkie. My pops died a couple months before this movie, and it did hit pretty hard at that moment.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Steve the Don Valente, I can honestly say seeing this movie was a great experience. Seeing it opening night in the middle section, I laughed, I cried. He also did that when Cap picked up the hammer, when he said Avengers Assemble. I'm the fucking mark for this movie. As we all are.
The more that I think about it, the more disappointed and sad that I am that Marvel hasn't been able to get anything right since this
Well,
movie.
we knew this was the peak.
Well,
You're not going to be able to top this.
You
How
think
many
that-
movies was it? Like, yeah, this was the
Fucking
peak.
22 almost?
we just
on.
want it to be good again. That's all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Carlos Ramirez, one of my favorite Marvel movies. I watched the Portal scene at least 5 times to fully enjoy it every time. It's nice for Ant-Man to get the push. He seemed awkward in Civil War, on and off screen, doing press. And it'd be nice to see what happened in those 5 years. Sure.
Yep.
Bill Capri felt like this movie is really only up there because of the huge amount of fan service and the hype Infinity War built. This has a more satisfying ending than Infinity War in the sense that the Avengers win. But didn't the time travel thing feel a little too convenient and an easy cop out? Not to me.
Easy. I mean, they almost fucked it up like 3 times.
Right. I don't know. I thought it was fine.
Omar, fucking stupid ass nerd Hulk. Fuck you. I'm glad you got throat punched by Thanos.
Oh my God.
Great movie though, although Tony Stark just coming up with the time travel device in 4 minutes with the time jump spandex suits was a bit disbelieving. Well, it was a montage. It wasn't like they made the suits in 4 seconds.
Do you know that those suits, when they shot this whole entire movie, they had no idea what the suits were going to look like? All the suits were CGI as well. Of
course.
Just putting the suits
Yeah.
on them.
Right.
And they designed them after. Like the actors obviously didn't know what they were going to look like.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The Avengers Assemble fight scene really makes up for the flaws, except for the woman. Yeah, all right. Chris Berg, fuck Hulk in this. Fucking hated that shit. Girl power scene was a little much. How did Thanos make it through the portal? I get that bad Nebula gave Thanos the Pym particles, but then how did she make it back to open the portal for him? And what particles did he put into his ship to shrink down to come
Yeah.
through?
Listen,
know,
there's
don't
some
overthink it.
nitpicking that you can do, but
it's-
overall,
yeah.
with the fan service and all the drama and just the amazing acting, there's still not much that you can improve
You could
on this.
assume what happened. You know, you don't need them to be like, oh, we figured out how to do it. Good, do it. You know, it's not necessary.
Right.
You can just assume they figured it out.
A Squidward is very smart. I'm sure he
Yes.
figured it out quickly.
Yes, exactly. Red shirt guy, I thought it would have been an amazing scene to have Rocket piss Bruce off to make the Hulk come back and smash. That would have been amazing.
Oh my God.
I mean, really, the only thing that Joe and I have with this movie is that Hulk never gets his revenge on Thanos.
He never gets his
He got
rematch.
fucked up by Thanos in Infinity War.
Yeah.
And then by the time the big fight happens, Hulk has has one arm.
Right.
Sure.
And he doesn't get, like, that'd be amazing. Like, Rocket's like, dude, you gotta get angry. And he's like, no, this is just me now. You gotta get angry, dude. And then he just, like, squeezes his nuts. And then fucking, normal Hulk comes back. And
Yeah, because he
just
just
even if he just gets some shots in on Thanos, it'd be so satisfying.
Right.
You're right, because he did very little. He held up the
Nothing.
building after it fell,
Did nothing.
and then pretty much did nothing after
All
he
they
came back.
used him for was
The snap.
The snap. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
I get it. The movie's already 3 hours.
But yeah,
can't
you're
do
right.
everything,
I
but-
think we could have
Well,
used a scene with, I'm doing a little bit of
And I
something.
think one of the things that they plan on doing is have Hulk be the big hero at the next end of the next bunch of Avengers movies.
Sure.
Like world-beating Hulk, where he just gets really big and really strong and just maybe wins it. I don't know.
Maybe.
They're saving him for that, maybe.
Yeah. That is all for fan questions. So make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you're viewing us. We have exclusive videos on the YouTube channel. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Hollywood Hog Pod. Become a supporter of the show at patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. Watch Ahsoka with us. Loki, Invincible Season 2's coming. It's a lot of fun to talk about these shows.
Well,
so
not
yeah.
Ahsoka so much, but it's
Not so much Ahsoka, but there's only 2 episodes left. But
Thank God.
We'll see you there, and we'll see you next time.
This movie made $1 billion in 11 days.
Holy shit.
11 days.
Yeah, that's insane.